Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for Newmarket Aurora. Clearly, the Liberal promise to go after the tax loophole was clear in the election. It hasn't yet been done. We also are looking at going after offshore accounts. We know that's not yet been done, although we're told it's in train. I really think it's time that in this country we started looking at really progressive tax rates. We talk about what's happening with improving the minimum wage in some parts of the country. I think it's time we looked at a maximum wage. It used to be accomplished through taxes. And I will astonish the honourable member by telling him what the tax rate was, the highest income earner rate in the time of the biggest economic boom in the United States. Post-war, everything was booming, and they kept these tax rates in place for a very long time, post-war right up until the 1960s. You can go back and check if you don't believe me, but the tax rate for people earning over $200,000 a year, which equates in today's terms to $2.5 million roughly, was 94%. We've been so conditioned by neoliberalism to believe the best thing you can do for your economy is cut taxes that we haven't looked at the evidence that the best time in employment and economic growth in U.S. history happened with the highest income earners facing a 94% tax rate. I wonder if the honourable member thinks we ought to start looking in this direction at progressive taxation.
The honourable member for Newmarket Aurora.
I thank the member for Sandus Gulf Islands for her thoughtful question. Like her, I studied law at Dalhousie, and I actually studied for a small part the tax law. And I agree that a progressive tax system is the best way to share wealth in a country. It's the best way to distribute growth evenly. Now, there will be arguments, and there has been historically, about what does that best way look like, and there will be disagreements for sure, and that's part of the process. But I don't disagree with the premise of the member's submission that a progressive tax system is a good way to develop growth. Our tax code over the years has become, in my opinion, overly convoluted, overly complicated. Much can be done to improve it, but that's perhaps an argument for another day or another week or another month. But I appreciate the position from where she's coming from. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.